there, everybody. It's Mike Delisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the latest in the Tiny Epic line of games, Tiny Epic Tactics. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and unbox the Maps expansion that came out at the same time on the Kickstarter. Just wanted to point out here that we are looking at the Deluxe Edition, and so depending on what version you may or may not be looking at, you might see something different. Tactical combat game for, let's see here, 1 to 4 players. It says in about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit. There we go. Let's take a look at the components and see what we can see. Looks like we have a sleeve here, so I want to be a little bit careful about opening this up. Okay. So there's the sleeve and there's the actual box. In the back, you're going to see what looks like a map because the actual boxes are used as terrain in the game. So we'll take a look at that for sure, along with the other components in the game. Our rule book, the rules of the realm. All is quiet in the valley. Mist slowly swirls over the mountaintops and cliffs. Let's take a look at what we have inside. Our components. And it also, along with the list of components here, shows you how to assemble the Evergreen Forest, which is basically turning the boxes. There'll be more boxes that we'll find here inside, upside down, and placing them as terrain. We've got our unit cards and stats. There are 5 different modes of play included here. You've got 2 to 4 player competitive, 2 to 2 player team play, 2 to 4 player battle mode, a single player solo adventure, and a 2 player cooperative game. What's described in the book is the 2 to 4 player competitive game. That's kind of the standard. You've got your setup here. You've got the game overview, the turn order, taking actions, weakened units, capturing different units, and then it's going to go into more detail for each of the different actions. Movement here is your first action, melee attack, missile attack, casting a spell, and then you can also have reactions. You can counter some of these spells. You've got tactic cards that you can play on your turn, and the game end and scoring. All right. And then we're going to look at the other examples. Oh, and securing a control area. That's one of the things you're trying to do here to win the game in the standard game. And then we have other variants. The competitive mode team play, the battle mode free-for-all, things along those lines. We also have the solo adventure mode. Plenty of rules for that, as it plays quite a bit different from what I've seen. All of those were the solo rules. All right, and then a reference for the terrain. We've got a little mini expansion that I'm actually not going to open because that only comes in the Kickstarter, but let's take a look at some of the wooden pieces here. There are a lot of them. A lot of wooden pieces. You've got for each unit, or each team, I suppose, 4 different meeples. So we'll look at the colored meeples of the red player, and you'll see that these are going to be the same for all of the colors in the game. So these are the 4 different types of units that are represented with these screen-printed meeples. And so you'll have those for each of the player colors: red, blue, green, and yellow. You also have health markers and mana markers, and I can't remember what the third one is called, but you can get an idea for those different markers. And we've got some different colored flags here for the capture the flag mode of the game. Our fatigued players, our units there. All right, that's a pretty good view of those wooden components. Let's take a look at the 3 custom dice here. Maybe, potentially, if I can get them open. Here we go. These are kind of almost a pearl finish on them. You see the different faces of the dice there. There we go. I rolled 3 melee hits, I believe. Let's take a look at some of the cards here. These are the standard size cards. So we've got our different units here. Gamelin, which is the name of the company. Senshi, Korgak. I'm not going to try to pronounce all these. But you can get a bit of an idea of what these units look like. They've got different abilities here at the bottom, different stats, movement stats, melee stats. They magic stats if they're a magic user. Not all units are magic users. Some of them have a ranged attack like you'll see here. So these are all the different units you can play as. This is for Capture the Flag, Solo Adventure Time Tracker. Here we've got our mini cards, which are going to be the items and things along those lines. There's also some solo cards. I believe these here on the top are maybe solo enemies. I'm not sure about this, but I believe so. I believe those are solo enemies. These are the different items. Fire the ballista, shut down an enemy, knock them out, risk it all, rally the troops. All of these are different. Most of these cards work on an if-then. If this is true, then you may do this. All right. Different crystals. Oh, this is also says solo. So perhaps this is for solo as well. I'm not really sure. I haven't taken a good look at it. And then we've got inside here this kind of, I'm not even sure I'd call it cloth. It's almost stretchy, all right? And I'm not going to try to set this up exactly right because that would entail looking at the rule book and trying to follow it. But you'll see inside the box, you've got these other boxes. The interior is used in the solo game. The exterior is used in the other game mode. So you'd place it, and again, I'm not going to try to do this exactly as it's... Actually, let's do the big one here first. But it lays out in the game how you set all these up. So I'll just kind of set them up somewhat arbitrarily here, but you can get an idea. Actually, I believe this one would have to go on this. Yeah, I'm not doing this right, but you get the general idea here. We've got different terrain that could be set up to give it some three-dimensional... Sure, let's do that. All right, well, and there's actually even a smaller one here. There we go. So this is not the setup as explained in the rulebook, but you get the general idea. You use it as three-dimensional terrain, and depending on what terrain you're on, that's going to determine your movement. I'm going to also quickly open up the maps expansion here so you can see maybe what some of the different terrain looks like. We've got in here the Winter Highlands and the Savage Wastelands. Okay, we've got more of these kind of stretchy, put these out as your base. And then we've got some folded terrain. You can see here. For terrain that you then, again, would stack in a three-dimensional fashion to create your different terrain here. And then we've got a winter as well. Winter Highlands. There you go. These are double-sided. And more of the cardboard constructs that you put together for the scenario that you are playing. Well, there you have Tiny Epic Tactics and the maps expansion. I've made a mess, but you get the general idea. Thanks again for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.